shouldered my gun and whistled my dog off to the mountains to tree a groundhog. Groundhog. Happy Groundhog's Day. I'm playing a fretless banjo. See if I can show it to you here. It was made many years ago in the 60s. And it's got these beautiful wooden pegs. Wood and groundhog hide, made by Frank Proffitt of Reese, North Carolina, given to my parents, George and Gerry Armstrong. And I thought I'd play you the Groundhog song. I found these wonderful notes that about what Frank Proffitt had to say about making the banjos and about groundhogs. He said that groundhogs are thick as fleas in the mountains. And my interest in the banjo started very early because I had an ear for music, sort of a gift to me. My earliest memory was of waking up on a wintry morning and hearing my father picking in a slow, mournful way the shavings and the smell of the fresh wood, going along to the woods to get the wood, the tuning up for the first time the new banjo. These will always be good memories for me, says Frank Proffitt. As a boy, I recall going along with Dad to the woods to get the timber for banjo making. He selected a tree by its appearance and by sounding. That's a timber cutter's term of speech in describing hitting a tree with a hammer or axe broad-sided to tell by the sound if it's straight-grained, sound, shaky, faulty, or hollow. I do this myself also. I can't describe it in words, but I see inside the tree by the sound. Father would cut the tree down and saw it up in neck lengths, then set the blocks on their ends and lay off in squares. This is my way also, using a maul and wedges to split the squares for banjo necks. I then, as Dad taught me, stick the squares in ricks to air dry for 6 months or more. After, they are taken and put over a stove or fireplace to kiln dry. As I watched my father shaping the wood for a banjo, I wanted to rush him in his work so that I could hear the sound. When the strings were put on and the pegs turned and musical notes begun to fill the cabin, I looked upon my father as truly the greatest man on earth for creating such a wonderful thing out of a piece of wood, a greasy skin, and strings. So, groundhog gave its skin for the head of the banjo. Two in a rock and three in a log, two in a rock and three in a log, great almighty, what a big groundhog, groundhog. He's in there, boys, the holes were slick, in there, boys, the holes were slick, come on, Sam, with your forked stick, groundhog. Yonder comes Sal with a snigger and a grin, yonder comes Sal with a snigger and a grin, groundhog grease all over her chin, groundhog. Yes, I like my groundhog stewed or fried, like my groundhog stewed or fried, little piece of cornbread by its side, groundhog. Well, the high hides in the cupboard, the meat's in the churn. Hide in the cupboard and the meat's in the churn. If this ain't good groundhog, I'll be derned. Groundhog. Well, shoulder my gun and whistle up a dog. Shoulder my gun and whistle up a dog. Off to the mountains, a tree of groundhog.